Ah, no, that's true.
That's fine. Both of us are allowed to do it. So Tony, so much has changed in like the 10, 11, 12 years we've been working
Maybe longer than that, yeah, about 12 years.
On restaurant tech, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
well, we talked about it for about 5 years before we actually started it. So
yeah, so let's say 15 years.
Let's do it.
Yeah. One of the things that I often wish I would have had access to when I was an operator are all these specialized restaurant-focused accounting firms.
Sure.
The entire industry has changed. It's so dynamic, and I feel like there's so many great firms now that specialize in restaurant-specific accounting. Just from my side, I can only imagine how powerful it would have been to have somebody to reach out to that wasn't dealing with 100 other problems, that knew exactly what I was talking about. Like, hey, my vendor cut us off, or one of the team members, their check's messed up. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that when I was working with firms that didn't have restaurant kind of experience, like for example, I had a company that did our accounting that was construction based, they just never knew what I was talking about.
Of course not. They don't understand the many varied intricacies of running a restaurant business.
Yeah, it's crazy. But over the years we've met, and we've come to appreciate some of the better firms that are out there.
Of course.
Just top of mind, I can remember, I love the work that the team at BSBK does. BSBK, one of the founders, Matt Moyer, was actually the CFO for the LDV Hospitality Group. I got to know
one of our first customers.
One of our first customers. I got to know him really well. And those guys have real world experience in day-to-day ops because they also own their own restaurants.
Right. Which is rare.
It's very rare. So I can confidently say those guys are not only incredible at what they do, but they have a level of empathy for the operators that a lot of accounting firms don't have.
Sure.
Also, we're homers, so you gotta love anybody who's based out of Philly. I mean, that's where we started the company, right? Another one that is a really impressive firm is Dine Technology. One thing that comes off the top of my head is how incredibly detailed and obsessed they are with the operational aspect of your numbers. Line item costs, what's happening with your menu mix, making sure inventory is tight. This is one of the few firms out there that I know of, restaurant focused of course, but they develop their own technology too. So it's in the name, Dine Technology. They're a great firm. I could highly recommend those guys. Another team that I'm super impressed with is the team at INVGR. They're based in Florida, but they work all across the country. And they're an R365 focused firm, but they can work in any platform. One of the things that I've been most impressed by them is that they can work with an operation that's on the smaller side, a couple units, all the way up to Burger Kings and big franchises. And every single client that we've sent their way has been super, super happy. And they're a young, dynamic team. They're always growing. And I can tell you just from my experience that all the clients that I hear about working with INVGR are always super, super happy.
That's great.
Another big segment in the restaurant ops world is, imagine having a franchise of McDonald's. There's all kinds of crazy special rules you need to know. There's
their
rebates,
own systems that they utilize.
all kinds of internal systems.
Right.
And I'm always super impressed by firms that can handle that kind of work.
Usually they're very specialized.
Super specialized. So first one that comes top of mind with me, especially with McDonald's operators, is LAUFER. They've got years and years of experience. Andy LAUFER, the owner, is an incredible guy. He's dynamic. He's always going to shows. He's super involved in the community. And what super impresses me about him and his team is their expertise. They know about tax planning. They know about looking for the specific areas that you want to open stores up. They're a little bit more than just like a tax and day-to-day operations, back office support. They can offer all kinds of services beyond just like day to day. They know, how to make sure you're getting the most out of your franchises, how to work with McDonald's corporate, and kind of give you all the resources.
It's really great to work with a firm who is so specialized on that specific, not even just industry, but brand in a way, because they know inside and out all the rules that have to be applied to.
I would love to own a McDonald's one day.
You know who to use for your accounting firm.
Yes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Another one of my favorite firms that's based out in Denver is the team at OCRA. On-call restaurant accounting. Great team members, super engaged in the day-to-day ops of their clients. They can handle everything, A to Z, when it comes to your operation, and they're specialists in R365. They do onboardings. They can help you figure out what's going on with your inventory, and just overall, they work with some of the best brands in the country. Mark, their owner, is actually the CFO, I believe, or a controller at Sage Hospitality Group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's got deep experience in the restaurant world as well. Great guy and a great team.
They all have really deep experience in the restaurant world, which is what you really need. Somebody who understands your operations.
So important. If you're specifically working in QuickBooks, there's also some really great firms that specialize in getting the most out of QuickBooks, even though it might not be a restaurant-specific platform. There's definitely firms out there that can help you get the most out of that and still understand all the focuses that a restaurant needs. One of the great ones that comes top of mind is SystematiQ.
They're in New York, right?
Based in Brooklyn. Great team. They've got tons of experience behind them, and they absolutely know how to help you get the most out of your numbers, proactive data, and then essentially not have to move you off of into some huge different platform or whatever. They'll help you get the most out of QuickBooks Online and help you grow your.
Fantastic. That's important for certain segments of the industry, right? So not everyone needs the most robust restaurant accounting inventory platform system, right?
Yes.
Much smaller organizations and mom and pop type shops or something like that might need something a little bit more simpler that's commensurate with what their establishment requires.
Able to even engage in.
Right, exactly. What they're able to engage in is important to fit the right people with the right system that's out there.
Totally. There's another firm that I've seen going through crazy growth, led by a really great guy named Rafi. They're called Fork CPAs.
DC, right?
I think they started in DC, and now they've got offices in New York as well. But what I love about their system is it's a very clean way to operate. They give you essentially like a month-end track where it's kind of more simplified, and like you were saying, if you don't need all like the bells and whistles of a super crazy month-end report, then they allow you to work simply with really efficient numbers. But then on the other side of it, they give you a much more detailed track. So you get to choose, like, do you want something really, really robust or something more simple that'll help you get to clean financials at the end of the year?
Sure.
They're also focused on QuickBooks Online, and they're a top vendor that I know has been going through some really big growth in the market.
Cool.
Sometimes you actually might want to work with a firm that has all the chops that you need for bookkeeping, but then also has some backup infrastructure that's also able to close your books and has a dynamic range of all different types of companies that they work with. What comes to mind on that is William Vaughan Company and their restaurant-focused section, which is the RubixCloud. Mm-hmm. They're a really great team. They're super smart. And then with the backing of William Vaughan, they're able to do all your tax planning, all your year-end close. Then they have all kinds of industry knowledge. So if you don't just run restaurants and you perhaps have other types of franchises, or you have real estate to worry about, and you want something of a
more
robust,
of a holistic approach. Yeah.
Exactly. Then they're a great team to work with. They work in R365. I know there's other platforms they can work in, but I can only imagine if I was the type of entrepreneur or business owner that had restaurants and then maybe spas, or I had, buildings that I was renting out, and I needed somebody that had maybe like a
comprehensive approach.
Exactly. Rounder experience, then I think they're a great firm that you could work with. In the end, the restaurant industry and the back office support that's out there is just constantly evolving. It's great to see how many great providers are out there for the industry. And in general, I think that, as our industry evolves, as the services and offerings evolve, each of the different owners or, teams that are looking for support, there's a little bit of everything out there for everyone. Mm-hmm. Could be R365 experience, could be, hey, I want to grow my franchise, could be, hey, I need somebody who has experience in multiple industries. But in the end, hopefully with time, it'll only get better, and there'll only be more firms out there that understand how nuanced and special the restaurant industry is and how they can support these different operators.
This incredibly idiosyncratic industry that we work in, right? There's a lot of different issues, there's a lot of different complexities, many, many more so than many other industries. So specialization is key.
It's key. So hopefully this list that we put together is a great place for you to start to find the right type of firm for you.
Right.